Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today we're going to talk about what you should charge for your own patient. I'm not talking about someone else's patient, because someone else's patient is a whole different story, and that's like regular price. There's no discounts, right? I'm talking about your own patient. You finished Invisalign or you finished braces or some kind of ortho, and patients asking for a retreatment due to relapse or not being satisfied. Again, two different situations. But I'm going to take you through all the different variables that I consider, and there is no direct answer to this. It is a total fluid answer. And your answer may not match with what the patient is expecting, and sometimes that can cause trouble. So that's why I have lots of different benchmarks and checkpoints that I want to see if they were completed. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my thought process on the process. Okay. And this happens all the time with orthodontists, quite often, quite often. I mean, obviously we don't want it to happen, but things happen. Patients get flaky. Patients are non-compliant. We make mistakes sometimes. We could have done things differently, and that all depends on where the mistake lies and how careful you were with your checkpoints. Okay. So first question would be, when did the patient finish treatment? Okay. Did they finish last week, last month, last year, or more than a year? Those are my 4 different checkpoints in my mind, the way I kind of sort it out. Totally different answer for each one, right? The more recent it was, the less the patient is going to pay in my mind. And I don't write this out in any type of contract, because there's so many different variables. There's no way you could spell it out in a contract. I know some of you guys are asking just for an answer, but when I often meet with doctors, whether they're my clients or somebody just looking to do an a la carte session to have me just go over this case, kind of troubleshoot what might have happened. And these are the type of things I bring up so we can kind of come with a number, right? Okay. So when was it? We'll get to the numbers eventually. Of course, what did they pay? Other question would be, did your patient sign a statement of satisfaction or an accepting D-bond congratulations form? All different names for that. Most orthodontists have their patients sign a form when they finish treatment. It doesn't matter if it's Invisalign or braces or whatever ortho it is. When they finish active treatment, they sign a form before we take them off or finish treatment and deliver retainers. Always. In my world, there's 2 different forms. There's one for, quote unquote, it looks perfect, I'm super happy, you're super happy. And there's one form of, it's not quite perfect, but you understand why and you're okay with it. Or it's not quite perfect, but we had to stop early because you were non-compliant, okay? Or something happened. 2 different forms. But regardless, did they sign that form? If you haven't implemented that form into your workflow, then your liability is way higher than if you have, okay? And the chance of you needing to either give a full refund or a retreatment is much higher. So if you haven't implemented that form, I do have templates in my store on my website, StraightSmile Solutions. You can go to my store, go to documents, it's there. These documents are free for our regular VIP or concierge clients, and they are $20 for anyone else who wants it. Easy, just go ahead and go on. You can have it same day. It's just a template. So again, I'm not an attorney. Anytime you have a template, you're welcome to run it by your attorney, make changes, edit it, throw logos on it, whatever you want to do. It's just a template. Also, I want to go ahead and also throw this to you. If you feel like there's some type of discord in this whole conversation, and or perhaps you are at fault for any reason, even if it's just a small thing that I'm mentioning, it is best that you call your liability insurance company. No, this is not going to turn into a lawsuit because they're going to mitigate that. Anything that you do, whether it's a retreatment or it's a partial or full refund, you always want to call your liability insurance company. Most of them are pretty well versed in ortho, some better than others, and they will actually hammer out their own separate document. You never want to give anything away, be it a retreatment or a refund, without your patient signing something special that's basically like, I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to sue you, I'm not going to, take this from the direct-to-consumer aligner companies. I watch what they do, and I'm like, shoot, we got to start doing this too. Because I've had it happen so many times that we're cool, we're going to retreat. Hey, I'm going to do this for half price. It's totally clearly the patient's fault. I charted it all. They admitted it. And later they go and complain all over social media what a crappy orthodontist I am. That's not happening. If I'm out of good faith giving you either a retreatment or a partial refund or whatever I'm doing that I really don't need to do, I'm being nice, you better be nice back to me. And we're gonna map this out and put it in writing. Learn from the hard way from a lot of people I know who didn't do this. Just do this. It is not going to trigger anything from your liability insurance company. As a matter of fact, they're going to appreciate that you called them because they're less likely to have a payout later. It's just a document. They have these things. Basically, they have, and I know so many doctors that have done this and have been so thankful they did it And it just makes you more responsible. So I want to start off and preface that. I would, depending on the situation, or just do it no matter what. Okay, so we talked about that DBON form, statement of satisfaction. If you don't have that as part of your workflow, or you forgot to have them sign it, you might be giving away free treatment or a full refund. It's probably, run it by your liability insurance. Second thing, when did this happen? When did they finish? Third thing, of course, did you have a regular retainer agreement, how it works, how frequently it's supposed to come in? Was it in writing? Did they sign it? Did they agree to it? Do they understand it? Is it in the chart? Did they have a copy of it? A lot of people don't have that. You need to have a retainer plan. How they wear it, when they wear it, they have to sign it. How often they change it. Essex retainers, they wear out. You have to replace them. Did you explain how that's going to work? Are they buying a package like Vivera? Do they realize what the price is, how frequently they need to replace them? You can't just have one Essex retainer for life. It is not going to work. And that is a huge mistake that a lot of general and pediatric dentists make. They think, oh, it's a retainer. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And especially if you make them in-house. There's a reason why Vivera is only sold in sets of 4. And that's the bare minimum that you need. I generally have my patients trade them out, and they're going to wear it full time for at least 6 months. And if you want to know about wear schedule, it's, again, this is customized. Every patient is not the same. You have to understand this. Watch my entire retainer series. It's completely explained in there. How to think about it, how we think, how we do it. Okay. So if you didn't have this all spelled out, written down, signed, they signed it, how it's going to work, how often they come in, that's again your fault. Okay. So I'm going over everything that is your fault as the doctor. You should have done things differently. So you should probably be retreating this patient for free, even if it was their fault, or giving the refund. Okay. Learn from your mistakes. Don't do it again. Number, I don't know what number I'm on. Okay. Were they coming regularly to the scheduled retainer appointments that you spelled out? If you did have that. So what's your frequency? My frequency was always 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 6 months, and then done. So that's 4 appointments. Did they come? Did you set them up? Did they no-show them? If they no-show them, did you call them and try to get them in? Do you have all this documented? If they had the appointments, they knew what to do, they signed, they didn't show, you called them, they still didn't show. Well, this is not your fault then. So this is not your fault. This is their fault. So have you done everything in good faith to make sure they knew what they needed to do, what the rules were, how it worked? Is it all written out? Is it all signed? Did they just blatantly fail? And sometimes you'll have patients that are just awesome patients, and it happens quite often. The parents come in, we are very disappointed. Little Johnny lost his retainer 2 months ago. We didn't know about it. You know, he wasn't wearing it clearly because he lost it. You know, it's a whole different thing as he lost it or it doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? You know, that's a completely different story. If they lost the retainer, completely different story, right? Now, remember, COVID threw a little bit of a loop in here, where if your office was closed and you guys weren't following up on stuff because your office is closed, it's kind of on you. So if you had to be super on it, whether your office was closed or open, making sure your patients had what they needed, whether it was virtual or in person, and a lot of doctors dropped the ball on this. So it's on you. You can't blame COVID, okay? So just like a lot of companies are being super flexible about their policies, be it airlines or hotels and stuff, travel, same thing. You guys need to be flexible on that. So pretty soon that whole COVID thing is not going to fly because we're going to be too far because offices are open. So I'm almost done with that excuse. What else? We talked about retainers, retainer schedule, retainer appointments. One more thing. Did you take a picture at retainer delivery with the retainers on? Most people don't do this. I learned to start doing this because I can't tell you how many times they're like, the retainer never fit. No, it never fit to begin with. And you're like, BS. I never let the patient walk out when their retainers don't fit. If you didn't capture that it fit, okay, that's on you. Again. So all kind of things I just wanted to bring up. That one picture can save you $5,000. Super, super smart to take that one picture. Just documentation. So you can't just chart and say it fit. You need to actually document, visually prove that it fit. What else? Retainer fits. You've got the paperwork. You have the frequency of appointments. They showed up. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, just making sure every appointment they're coming in, you're taking pictures of the retainers on, showing that it still fits. Yeah. And if they lost it or broke it, or for whatever reason it quote unquote stopped fitting, then, from there, you should have everything that you need to help make a decision on where the blame lies. This is kind of almost like when you get into a car accident and it's kind of both people's fault. Sometimes you have to just meet in the middle, okay? Unless it's clearly, patient went to camp, lost their retainer, came back 3 months later, teeth relapsed. Okay, that's not your fault. So, again, if it was the sooner it was, whether it's 1 week, 1 month, the less I'm going to charge. And of course, it's going to depend on how long the treatment is. It also depends if it's an Invisalign or a clear cut case. Is it a light case? Is it a moderate case? Is it a express case, or is it a comprehensive case? Are we within that 5-year window? Can I do this for free without a lab fee? Obviously, if I don't have a lab fee, that's going to lower the price. I'm going to be super honest with the patient. Hey, you got lucky. We're still within the warranty period for Invisalign, so I'm not going to have the fee that I had before. So it's only a fee for my time. So the fee's about half price, And often, with retreatments, even if it was a braces case, sometimes it's way quicker if it's very minor stuff to just do some easy express aligners, whether you do Invisalign Express 7, which is the most affordable version. It's my favorite express, and they have this in all countries. In the US, they have Express 5, 7, and 10, but 7 is the only one you want to use for express, and in very simple cases only, because it's the only one that comes with a free refinement of 7 more aligners. So that's the clue. 5 and 10 do not. You have to pay for the refinements. I have no idea why, but they don't. So generally, I'll do express, light, or moderate. Try to do a cheaper version, And even for braces cases, I say, you know what? It is going to cost you more to put the braces back on, because it's such an easy case, but yet it's going to take way more time and way more effort from me, So I'm going to charge you less if we can do express aligners, or you can even do white label, liners, really cheap, $20 a pop. I mean, for a simple retreatment case, you should be able to do this for less than $500 lab fee, whether you do an express or you do a white label or something like that. A light obviously is more like $1,200. But try to do the cheapest you can, and that is something that I'm glad to look at that case. If you want to schedule an a la carte session, you can go to my website, StraightSmile Solutions, click on services. A la carte case, just a couple $100. We can help you do all this stuff, figure out exactly what you need accurately, what's fair. Obviously, we're not attorneys, so you're going to have to talk to your liability insurance for paperwork if you're looking for that, for something customized. We're not going to write that for you, but we're just going to give you our recommendation. You want to do it the right way, because if you do it the wrong way, you're going to get a complaint either to the insurance company or the dental board, or really bad nowadays. Social media is so much worse than all that. It really, really is. And I really appreciate when I first started that there really was no social media, no Facebook, no nothing, no Yelp. So there really was no way that they could ruin your career. Now I can tell you your career can be ruined by just one person. So you have to be very, very, very careful on who you're dealing with. And there are times, honestly, if everything is not lining up and it's looking like it's leaning more towards you, just give the full darn refund and get rid of that patient. Have them sign that paper from the liability insurance company and goodbye. They can never complain about you, talk bad about you, because it is on them, and the liability insurance company will go after them if they do. It's not you having to pay for the attorney. So definitely. And I know I've done this before. I know a lot of doctors that have done this before, and I know some patients that have done this before. So anyways, I know that was a lot of things to think about, and you're probably freaking out, but I hope it was helpful. Thank you.